Welcome back, summoners, to the Garena LVL. Once again, my name is Vulcan, and with me is Atlas, your shoutcasters entering Match 3.
And this coming into this Match 3 is going to be quite exciting watching this. Actually, since this is the last day of the group stage of the LVL, it's going to be quite exciting for all of us, all of the teams. This is kind of, for the teams that didn't make it to the playoffs, this is kind of their last chance to show some improvement coming from when they first came into LVL, show some potential for next term. And as for those that actually got in the playoffs, this is just really working it to try and be the best they can before that huge slug of a series. But of course, let's look at our schedule coming into this third match. It is going to be AMA Retaliate versus FEU ITI Tamaraus, and this is quite interesting. I've been looking forward to all of these matches in this last day, so it's going to be quite well.
Yes, indeed. And as for the standings so far, we did see that for UPD and for the Malayan Colleges Laguna Warlocks, the Oblivion Esports, they are tied for the bottom two, whereas for, let's see, the Tamaraus, can they try and maybe put more points to their standings? But we'll see once we move on to our third match. Oh, look at that. Oblivion Esports, Game Changers, and Warlocks.
All of them are 3-9. And that means that the power levels for our teams aren't as unequal as people would initially think. Three teams having 3-9, taking the bottom spot isn't that bad. It means that it's generally more of an even playing field on that level. And for the top teams, the two of the top teams are both 9-1. They have a game later. That means that they're also very well skilled in a relatively equal ground. So LVL so far has been quite an exciting adventure for all of these teams.
And also, I'm actually looking forward towards our last match for today. The battle for first seed for TUP versus UST. But before that, let's see how FIT would try and get some more points.
But pretty much the last three slots, the slots for the top three are pretty much locked in. This is, like I said, more room for improvement. A lot of just to show how they practice over the past weeks. And really, it's going to be great.
And I think we're ready to move on to our drafting phase to see for the, I would say, the plan for FIT in this match 3.
Because it is going to be a grueling match for AMA, for FIT versus AMA, because they are right now third place in terms of the top 3. So this is a team that has reached the more experienced half of this league so far, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how they plan against each other, starting from the pick and bans all the way to the execution of the compositions and plans.
And let's see it all planned out right now here in the drafting phase for AMA versus FIT.
So far, it's going to be Nazir ban against Set. Loss of wave clear, really high scaling as we've seen from the previous games. As for FIT, they don't want to deal with the updates to Xinjiao, as well as the orange, still very powerful of a pick. They don't want it taken away. And seeing as they banned it, even though they are on blue side, it means that they have different priorities. Gangplank as well, banned against Ashira. Twitch banned from Relapse. And it's going to be the Zed banned out against Niebe.
And note that the Zoe is open. We did see how Niebe performed on that Zoe, but right now for AMA, they will be the ones to prioritize the Vayne.
It's going to be the Vayne pick up first for AMA. This does leave FIT with a lot of room to think of how they can counter that. Vayne very, very powerful, as we've seen with the overheal, with the face of the mountain, all that. Just Targon's Brace rather, just allows him to have that shield battery always up, so it's very difficult to actually burst them down, which is one of the usual weaknesses of an AD carry. As for FIT, picking up the Kha'Zix and the Jinx for this one, it's going to be Kha'Zix for Mint and Neil playing that Jinx. Another hyper carry to face off against this Vayne. A really high scaling on this one. As for AMA, loss of tankiness being picked up.
Oh my god, a Tarek as a Juani. All for the glory of the Vayne's montage. So let's see, could this draft really favor AMA's playstyle, where Relapse will want to carry this game, but for FIT, they still have the Kha'Zix and the Jinx But now, they will be finalizing their pick with the Morgana. Now, moving on to the second banning phase.
Second ban phase, Jace locked away from Fukada and the Shen. So lots of top lanes banned out for this rotation so far. Camille also, so they're really trying to stymie any of that teleport potential, any of that late game potential coming from any of these top laners. Vladimir locked away rather for that last ban for AMA. Take away from the mid lane.
Oh, look at that. Orianna already picked off here.
So there's lots of CC utility locked in so far for the Tamaraos here. AMA so far, if they lock in this Gnar, it's going to be a lot of engage potential, lots of peel, lots of CC just to keep that Vayne coming. And if they lock in this Fizz, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Fizz dances around and becomes a good distraction for the Vayne to just whittle everyone on FIT down. Kled.
Ooh, look at that. Last pick rather for Ashira. Kled in the top lane against Gnar. That's actually... Oh, in a way, it's very similar because we're seeing this Gnar relying on the Rage Bar for the Mega Gnar, and we see Kled relying on the same mechanic in a sense that you have to time your engages.
Definitely, and once he becomes dismounted, just has to build up that bar once again. So there's a little bit of that mechanic where you have to really time when you go in, but Kled does have a lot more uptime in terms of team fighting. But the versatility of the Gnar is actually pretty good for AMA's purposes, so they're not always just diving in or repelling everything that FIT throws at them. They can be quite versatile with that top lane pick. As for FIT, there's not a lot of like straight up tankiness.
Yes, I have to
they do have a lot of dive potential in CC. I'm just really scared for AMA if they get caught and flanked by a Kled with a ball on him and he charges in.
That's actually
gives a great set for AMA.
That would be a great set for Retaliate Esports. But let's see how the Tamaraos will try and, you know, in a sense, try and counter out this
recomposition that Retaliate has picked up, because it's very well balanced and also purposeful in how they're pushing everything to keep the Vayne up and ready, and the Fizz is also there to deal lots of assassination damage. But of course, we'll be getting right into it as game one for the third match we have for today. Retaliate from AMA University QC versus the Tamaraos from FAUIT.
This is game one of match 3, our 5th game for today's broadcast. Already, we are seeing the members of FIT scouting around the brushes, trying to go for a level 1 cheese perhaps. We don't know, but we'll see.
It seems like they have to actually cancel that as they are locked away from that move as they are scouted out. AMA going for a more regular line of scrimmage here near the entrances of their jungles, playing it a little bit more safely. As for FIT, just has to go back. It seems like these junglers are starting on opposite sides of the map.
So different priorities?
Yeah, different priorities, different requirements for their clear, possibly.
So, let's see. I mean, the Mountain Drake would be the first Drake of this game. I wonder which team, which side, would be the ones to dictate how the laning phase goes, because you're talking about the Kazakhs and the Sejuani. They both behave very differently, and it's all up to Mint. This Kazakhs has to snowball. I gotta watch out for this Kazakhs, because if this Kazakhs does not perform, bad news. It's more of a liability.
It's more of a liability as an assassin, definitely. And because he is that assassin, and there's the Mountain Drake, he's a lot more pressured to apply impact onto other lanes, especially that bot side early. They will want to have that objective eventually. So they will have to be very careful with how they clear. They are not going to meet each other unless they both go for a mid lane play here. It is possible, considering that this Fizz could be a vulnerable target very early in the game.
But when you're talking about a Fizz and an Orianna matchup, Orianna itself will just out-CS this Fizz by a long shot, because the way that the Orianna can push, it can control the wave.
Definitely, and this could be something that Zoe could take advantage of.
And already, look at that, 4 to 10 CS. This pattern, if this keeps up, that's going to be a huge CS lead for Z. So now, we gotta wait. Maybe the junglers can intervene.
It has to be an intervention for this one, because Seth is constantly pushing Yebe in, so he loses CS. Zoe could possibly take advantage of that, but there could be other priorities here, seeing as where he's moving around the map, just trying to control the river a bit. Then he'll probably decide where to go, because this clear leaves him quite open. He can go for Seth, helping out against Seth. He can go for helping out against Neil, or he can just go back to his own camps. But it seems like now he's going for Seth for this.
Oh, level 3 happened right now. Seth flashes away, but you will not escape, my friend. That is the first blood. Easy first blood for Retaliate.
And that actually was a much faster permafrost than is normal, because getting in with the because having a melee champion with you, you Arctic Assault in, get your W out, and then that eclipse. Ooh.
I can admit, going in onto Falcata, but still trying to make most of his ganks, getting in some damage chipped in. So the gank in the mid lane succeeded in favor of AMA. It's the fact that when you're talking about Zeth, Orianna has no mobility compared to a Fizz. You would have good control of the wave, but you cannot expect that you would be the ones to get the kill pressure compared yourself to a Fizz.
Yeah, it would have been better if Seth was able to play more carefully, but then again, your win condition for that lane is to really control the wave and prevent Niebe from making any moves in terms of either CS or later in the laning phase roaming. But it's really more of a, if you're going for that win condition, there should be some caution on the side. And here it's actually very difficult to gank for the lanes of FIT. AMA's laners are all quite mobile. Falcata has that leap, just leap away. Niebe has a playful trickster, and Relapse has a lot of defense on him from the Taric, as well as just being Vayne able to combo away from threats.
So we have to look out for this point, because we're seeing two hyper carries in the bot lane. I mean, we see a Vayne and a Jinx, because both are actually running the same strat. The Targon's Brace with the shield battery and the overheal. So this is gonna be a very fun match, because when you move into the late game and you see all these hyper carries having their items, it's gonna be who can out sustain the other. But when you're looking at a Tyrek, that is a Vayne's.
It's very difficult to sustain.
That's a Vayne's dream right there.
And the longer the fight goes, well, if the fight gets extended by a little bit, that Radiance, that ultimate coming from the Taric will help him out a lot. Because just that invincibility will just be vital, and the timing for that is going to be quite important when the skirmishes and team fights start.
How about a black shield for the Morgana? So we're seeing two hyper carries, two supports who behave very differently. Taric has the sustain, has the shield, whereas we see this Morgana having the black shield. Ooh.
Seems like Myth actually knows exactly where Seth knows how to respond to that, because they had the defensive control ward around the corner, which Zoe did not spot out.
Close call, but for the Morgana with a black shield, so which can outfavor there? I would say for the Taric, it's more on team clashes, whereas for the Morgana, it's for the lane. I would say it's for the laning.
It's really for the laning, just the general safety of that black shield, the potential of the tons of CC set. Oh man, you're in trouble.
The Trickster just outplayed Zed's Shockwave. That is painful. Now, this Fizz, level 6, has all the damage, all the kits that he needs, plus 1 kill and 1 assist. This could be the start of something beautiful for Retaliate Esports, because we're talking about a Fizz who has the Hexa Revolver, so maybe he can go for the Proto Belt.
That's a lot of burst going to be coming out from Niebe, and the fact that he was setting up that kill on Seth since level 5, he was constantly trading with Seth, constantly damaging him, weaving in and out as a usual Fizz laner would do, and once he reaches level 6, he goes straight for it, and Seth can't even do anything. His Cleanse Summer doesn't really do much. Here comes Zoe.
Oh, Bishop Prison misses by a long shot. I mean, for the counter gank. Now, Kent Frost and Relapse. And Zoe backing away, but a Dark Binding. Ooh, he flashes away. Teleport incoming. This could be the counter play. Ooh, look at that stun from Kent Frost. Gets the kill. Niebe is coming in here from the base. Gets the kill onto Niel. Now, Zeth does not have the Shockwave. That is sad.
Definitely, and that solo kill, rather that kill earlier from Niebe really helped them out a lot, and they get the prize, which is the Mountain Drake. one of the most important tricks that he can get. And really, one thing that we forgot to point out was a teleport advantage that AMA has because of that Fizz, and Seth was not able to respond as fast and from the same angle. But there, solo kill there by Akira. We might be seeing that in a bit, but really, the Kled being able to solo kill the Gnar is not really unexpected.
I mean, when you're talking about Gnar, it's all about kiting. Click can just remove that.
Yeah, just puts you back with a bear trap, and he just wails on you with his violent tendencies.
Well, whichever champion can really have a gap closer or can really remove your kiting ability, Gnar's not going to have a good time here, but we're seeing how Falcata getting the Phage and the Ruby Crystal may go for the Black Cleaver Rush. Maybe I was actually expecting to see a Frozen Mallet Rush, judging from the fact that it's a Kled, but yeah, Black Cleaver is the way to go.
Yeah, really. Just gives you a little bit more mobility for, as you said, the laning. And when you're in Mega Gnar, it just gives you a lot of the sturdiness while being able to damage and help out your AD carry.
But I'm scared because we're seeing Ashira getting the Tiamat and the cloth armor, so we might go for the Tabby and possibly the Titanic Hydra, who knows.
It's just going to be helping him a lot when it comes later in the game where he's just split pushing and then uses ultimate respond to a mid lane push by FIT. It will be harder to respond to that compared to the teleport, which can be telegraphed by AMA, but they still have to be really wary of the rage timer, the rage bar that Falcata has.
So I'm waiting here in the bot lane, waiting for an opportunity for both ADCs to get out of here. But Zoe again, cutting a bit too close here. Looks like a cleanse from Zith will be able to connect that shockwave and the kill.
And that was the same control ward from earlier that signaled FIT to make a move onto Zoe. Yeah, he was trying so hard to invade the top side, go to the Raptors, but he would never once check that brush behind the red buff to see if it was control warded.
And now, a taste of his own medicine. His blue buff is being taken away here, but we are not seeing any response from Falcata and Nieve, so that's going to be a free blue buff. But bot lane, what's this?
He could go down.
Oh, here comes the Radiance. D managed to fully channel those binding, and now that's going to be Relapse getting slowed by the stun. God, looks like, oh god, this is bad news. Condemned to the wall. Yes, that connects. Where's the kill? There's the heal. Heal very low. Tumble in, and yes, there's the kill. But a 1-for-1 trade here. Oh, pops the barrier. Close call.
Oh man, that barrier and the Triumph really saved his life back there, and really deep, putting the black shield onto Neil, and that was a signal for Relapse to just change targets onto the support immediately, and that left vulnerable for a long time there.
Oh god, look at that.
He does not
he can't get away. There's the bear trap is attached to him, so Falcata cannot escape. What a well-timed gank coming from FIT.
And once the leap was gone, his life was just over for that one. And Mint gets one of his more important kills, being a Kha'Zix. He really needs to have that early kills, being able to pressure the lanes, and there he was able to successfully apply it to the top side, helping out the Shira quite a lot too.
And it's really sad because he burned his flash and his leap, so next time the gank does happen, Falcata will not have the same safety when you're talking about this Kha'Zix roaming around the map. And now,
once again,
stasis up. We'll get the black shield. Oh, that's going to be
teleport.
the shockwave combo. But Shira is on the scene here. He will get a kill onto Zoe. But now, Niebe. Ooh, another Dark Bite connects. That will be an easy kill for Zith.
Cannot Playful Trickster out of that snare once you're already in it. And Kenfrost tries to help them out. However, arrives a little bit too late to the pool party.
So, wow, that teleport play coming in from Ashira was what they needed. Extra burst, extra damage, gets them 2 kills for no casualty. And now we're seeing FIT. This is an opportunity for them to place those
go
deep
for something
wards
on bot lane as well. Relapse could be a little bit, what do you call it, vulnerable here. Kenfrost as well gets caught alone in the jungle.
Ooh, don't know what I was thinking there about Mint. And no, that's going to be Relapse chasing down Z's. But now that's going to be a third time. Mint trying to get the kill, fails.
Man, almost takes down
Unneeded casualties again.
Yeah, they stay around. They actually catch a target alone and off guard, which is perfect for Mint as that Kha'Zix. However, that Taric lasts a long time. Very durable there. Has the extra armor, has a little bit of healing, just enough to bait Mint into diving him and taking him down. Did not take into account, however, that the rest of AMA could just respond to it and they both get taken down.
So it looks like those 2 kills, solo kills in the mid lane, and now AMA does come back from the 2 solo kills in the jungle. So the lead they had, fairly even now, it just negates each other.
Actually, what's great is that Relapse was able to get a few kills there, and this should accelerate his hyper carry status a little bit.
And we are seeing in the itemization, both at the same path, except the fact that Relapse completed the Targon's Brace, so he will be building towards the shield battery. So it's a matter of time that Relapse can go in, out-trade this Jinx.
Oh god. Mint could be around the corner, but he does not want to face off against Zoe alone, because Zoe can really CC him until help arrives for AMA.
I'm just waiting for the hybrid carries to step up, because that's the time where the game gets exciting, because when all these teams, they're just waiting for their spikes to happen.
Really, yeah. And the next fight actually coming from the FIT side, actually both of these teams would be from when their engaged ultimates happen, when the teleports go up once again for AMA. If Zoe can get a really good Glacial Prison onto bot lane, they could control the Mountain Drake once again. And if FIT, however, they have their charge, they have the Shockwave, they have the Dark Binding, and the other tools that Morgana has. So it's going to be quite dangerous depending on whose cooldowns are up on the next fight. And because in the next fight, we'll be getting into it with everyone's resources right there. So it's going to be quite explosive.
So far, 40 minutes into the game. Mountain Drake is live. No one is going to take away just yet. As for AMA, they did secure.
Look at Ashira, though. He's trying to go for something sneaky against Niebe, but decides it might not be worth it.
It is a Fizz.
Very, very playful of a trickster right there, but he needs to get back to his lane, make sure he doesn't lose too much CS waiting for an opportunity. But Seth could also be going there to help him out, or possibly invade the upcoming blue buff for AMA. Seems like just going back to each other's businesses. Not a lot of fruitful efforts right there, because not a lot of opportunities really opened up. For now, Mint just really controlling the river, making sure that this river has a little bit of vision for his team, a little bit of a reset for everyone.
And as for Goldly, I'm not really sure how FIT can try and establish themselves as the better carry here, but for Jinx against the Vayne, you gotta wait it out. You gotta watch out, because anything can happen here, because right now in the blue side, look at that. So gets invaded by FIT. Blue buff is ours. Just back up. But Charm of the Waters may go for the assassin onto mid. Oh my god.
Man. Seth still gets the blue buff, however, but that was so sneaky coming from Niebe. Being able to take that kill away, just dashes out of harm's way right there.
Look at that Electrocute doing their works here, man. The domination path just favors Fizz. And in a short time, you can deal more damage than this
just
Orianna.
Disappeared there, but however, with that risk, okay, never mind. He's teleporting back to lane. But that is a resource expended, a summer spell on cooldown for AMA right there, just to protect his tower, because it was quite low, and Seth could easily take it if he spent all his time recalling and then walking back.
And so far for top lane, things are not looking well for Falcata. Ninja Tabi completed for this Colette plus the Phage. Can really out-kite and outmaneuver this Gnar, but thanks for the more passive farming from Falcata, he did manage to rush that Black Cleaver, but that does not matter if you're talking about Ashira having more gold, more items over you.
To be fair, Falcata can function still with less gold, and Kled is really a lot more item dependent than this Gnar. However, that lead is scary. He has his Black Cleaver completed on that Gnar. It's going to be quite hard to get away from him and survive his volley of attacks.
So we'll see. We're waiting for the things to blow up here. The third match of AMA, the third seed.
Both of these teams playing very patiently. FIT, especially with what happened then, that blue buff of AMA. They were waiting a long time, dancing around the river and their lanes to see when they could strike, and there it was absolutely perfect. Mint fell in the process, but they got what they wanted, which was a blue buff on Seth.
So let's hope that blue buff will help Seth out. Push out this lane, possibly get the first turret because it's not yet been secured. As for CS, yes, I was expecting that Seth will be out CSing this Fizz, but in terms of pure gold, Who knows? I think at this point, this Oriana will have more gold. And if he gets the first tower, huge
He's
bonus.
fighting.
Oh god. That's going to be... Ooh, mid gets the kill here onto Nieve so far. So good for FIT. First turn may go down in the mid lane. We'll see.
Zoe's trying to defend that, but wow. They know that Nieve's ultimate timer was up. It was off cooldown, so expecting him to fight set as soon as they got to lane and pushed up a little bit farther. Mint knows to go there exactly on that moment and takes him out. Very well played there by FIT's jungler on the timing.
Indeed. So we're seeing maybe the Mountain Drake being taken away by FIT.
Few pings coming from Zoe to that side, but I think he might be too late. This is the Mountain Drake, so he can't possibly take this, but it's way too risky.
So it looks like a 1-for-1 Mountain Drake here. They're sharing the buff. So let's see. On a Jinx, though, this is more powerful compared to a Vayne.
Yeah, definitely. Just the sheer power-up from the miniguns. Really a lot of work on those turrets, especially with a Mountain Drake. So it's going to be quite threatening. If ever one of these, if ever the bot lane of AMA falls, FIT can just run down that turret, possibly get another one on top of that. It just needs one wrong move from AMA, and that's why this game, so much patience, so much hesitation to actually pull the trigger here. And just really want to set up the perfect fight for either of your bot lanes.
And when you're waiting it out, especially the fact that it's nearing the 20-minute mark, the barrier will be live in 1 minute and 10 seconds. And again, mid is being very proactive in invading the jungle of AMA.
Really making sure he gets caught by Chumba Waters.
Oh god, will he get taken down though? Close call, and look at the damage coming from the ultimate itself. If Niebek went in with a full combo, that would have been a dead jungler.
However, there was not enough vision here on the riverside for him to actually go in, but seems like Seth gets the mid lane first turret of the game. Lots of gold for him and the rest of his team. Should help out against the 2 kills that Relapse has, but hasn't really jumped off of that lead from earlier onto more leads. So it's quite well so far for FIT, but the gold lead isn't that big. It's just 2K.
Looks like the shield battery is up for Relapse. You did see that huge shield.
Yep. Oh man, it's going to be hard to break through for Mist here. I'm rather Mint here. He is that assassin, and that shield battery just makes it so much harder. Once Neil gets his own shield battery, Niebe will be the one having a hard time, but he still deals a lot of constant damage just jumping around. Quite interesting.
2 turrets down for FIT. This is a rather calculated playstyle we're seeing from AMA. This is their playstyle in the sense that they do wait up for spikes, then strike, but for FIT, just pure on aggression.
They can actually do that because they have a few core items on their important members here. So you have the Dustblade on Mint, you have a Shiro with his Black Cleaver, and right now on 2 items, Seth could be a huge threat against AMA if he starts roaming or just starts pushing down this mid lane.
20 minutes into the game, 30 seconds in. Still, we're just waiting for the spikes to happen, but seeing how passive both teams are playing, do you want to go more?
That's a lot of damage.
Okay, looks like the spike is now in play. That's going to be, look at the shield coming in. Oh, the radiance. Will it be enough? Will it help? Oh. Yes, it reached in time. But will he last? The reduction is there for the reason, but still, he will be surviving. Relapse sustaining
still
himself.
Alive.
Still alive here. Oh my god. He survived every blow that FIT threw against him.
Oh man, that is so bad for FIT. All of them live just long enough for the rest of their team to follow up. And look at that. Relapse fell at the end of that fight. However, he lasted so long.
Close call though, because Falcata did have his ultimate up. So it's actually a shame that he could not further engage it, because I'm not sure. He had his flash. Not sure why he didn't opt to go for a very flashy play.
Could possibly have been great for AMA there, but the fact that Relapse was able to survive, he was at a sliver of health before the Cosmic Radiance proc, and that was just over for everyone else that was diving on him. And even though they were so deep, let's break this down actually. Here he gets caught by a lot of CC, but look at that, survives through all of the damage, the heals from everything keep him alive, and even Ashira with Mint, because they got caught by the stun from the Taric, he was not able to finish off the kill. He was able to just regenerate all that back up with the heals and with lifesteal and just take them out. And once Zoe came in, they just FIT just had to disengage.
Oh, looks like the members of FIT were too far. So looks like Valkara could not go for that Mega Nar play in the replay. So this is the explosiveness we were waiting for. We got it. They're not restraining themselves here. Relapse again with a sustain. He has the Infinity Edge and the Shiv. My God, this is going to be speeding up now. The game pace will change.
Oh, man. And like you said, it's so hard to take down Relapse. You try to go on him, he tumbles away. He has all these shields on him, and I won't be surprised if he has that bounty, rather that one of those keystones, or not keystones, one of those runes that gives him lifesteal every takedown. That just gives him so much sustain, even without a lifesteal item. Allows him to survive for so long. Combine that with how much Ken Frost can heal him.
Oh God!
It makes it so scary.
Things are looking bad in the top lane. Sure gets a solo kill there, same as in the bot lane.
This is a lot more favorable for AMA.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, man.
Oh no! Some miscoordination there from Mint. He did have the ball, but right now it's a matter of race. AMA in the bot side, where we see FIT on the top side.
This is so scary for FIT. The rest of their members haven't quite recalled just yet. Seth does not have his ultimate, neither does Ashira. They won't be able to get something too big, but at least they defend their bot lane turret.
Oh wow, that's actually a good trade. 2 for 2 right now. FIT, they did have the good start, getting the first turret in the mid lane, but AMA immediately removes that advantage, takes 2 turrets and 1 full go.
The gold lead is still on the side of FIT. However, so far, because of the execution and how things go, it's so much more valuable on Relapse right now. He's a lot more mobile, a lot more hard to kill than Neil. So FIT has to be a lot more careful. And every time that FIT goes in and then backs out, just as they realize that Relapse is too hard to kill, they lose a lot of control of the situation.
So far, so good for the AMA team here. Retaliate. 2 Drakes and 2 turrets. The Baron is live right now.
That could be the possible point of contention because these are 2 hard-to-kill AD carries, especially Relapse. He has a lot of room.
Let's see how things will pan out, because once the Baron contest does happen, we will be expecting that anything can go wrong in the Baron pit.
And every time, like in the previous games here we've had today, the Baron pit has been such a determining factor of whether you can win or lose. We've seen a team that did Baron and got it stolen from it, and that set up the comeback for UPD. And from the previous match, it could be dangerous for this one.
Oh, bad call there.
Ken Frost.
By Ken Frost. This could cost them the Baron.
Possibly. Oh, jumps over.
Jumps over. Oh my God. Blast Cone 4. Okay, that's it. That's going to be the Baron call for FIT here.
Zoe taken down, one of the tankier members for AMA. Bad call indeed, and just got out of position there. Now, Cosmic Radiance couldn't even proc because he got killed way too fast and only on himself. They're still going for it.
Relapse coming in. Force him to
possibly
flash
go
away.
for something here. Baron can make or break it.
Oh wait, AMA can turn this around. Oh, this is gonna happen, but no, that's gonna be the burst. And looks like Ashira gets back Skarl.
The damage is so much here that FIT cannot finish the Baron. So in the end, even if they do fall here in actually trying to contest it, they still stop it, which is worth it enough for AMA.
I mean, it's going to be an even trade, 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was so scary,
It's still okay. It was very scary indeed.
I'd rule it as a win for AMA because they stopped the Baron, which FIT almost had in the bag there. And like I said, Baron can make or break the game. And really, it's just way too difficult to play around that right now, seeing as both of these teams could possibly mess up the other, even with like the jungler and one of their important members down.
I mean, when you're talking about getting the Baron, and you don't have complete control of the map, that is a room for you to come back into this game, and that's going to be the point in time where everything you worked for can just go down the drain because of one bad call.
Definitely, but so far, even with that, that gave Relapse a few kills. 5, 2, and 4. That's a scary Vayne, and as I've said, very, very difficult to kill. And that's really how FIT, if they can take down Relapse, they can actually take away a lot more objectives than, say, if Neil was dead, because they still have other threats in play. 2 other threats in play compared to 3, actually, because they have a lot of damage dealers. But for AMA, if you take out Relapse, there's only Niebe left. And a lone Fizz is a lot easier to take down than this when 2 hyper carries jumping around.
Ken Frost pops the Radiance. Oh god. Final hour is in. Relapse trying to go in, and the Glacier Prison will connect onto mid. He does survive for now. Oh, he does not get taken down. Lots of resources burned. Oh god, that's too deep in for Niebe. Mid going in and out of the fight. That's gonna be in the bot lane, however. So that would be a disengage for the members of AMA.
Oh man, it's quite dangerous here for AMA. Ashira has procced his charge, trying to go on to Falcata, just prevent him from teleporting and helping out his team. And AMA backing off from that one. However, not enough for FIT to actually get any of that Baron.
That was a close call for AMA. As for FIT, they were able to try and prevent any casualties that happen in the Baron pit again. Another close call for both teams, because at that point, they're both relieved that no one died there and no one was able to contest for the Baron.
But they're not giving up just yet. The dance is still ongoing. Looking at the minimap, they're still trying to establish control over that region of the map. And FIT is not slacking off. They recall, and as soon as they get back, get their gold, spend their gold, they go to the Baron Pit area. This gives AMA a little bit of time to control that region. They do have a lot of control wards, a lot of regular wards around that area. They might be able to get the initiative on this fight if FIT tries to take away that control with their trinkets.
And so far we're seeing, oh god, they're trying to open up for the Baron here. Top lane has been destroyed, so that's going to open up the map for AMA. So, I think from one Baron clash, this game can pretty much change and give one team a great advantage over the other, because when you're talking about nearing the 30-minute mark and you're seeing this 80 hyper carries transitioning to the late game, this is going to spell disaster. And Neil, he has the Runaan's Hurricane.
So a lot of AoE damage with his rockets, with even his minigun. And the fact here is that both of these teams, when they play around Baron, when they play around any objective, they have to be a lot more careful with FIT in terms of their targeting. Because it's so hard to kill either Niebe or Relapse, because there's the invincibility, there's a shield battery on Relapse, so it's very difficult actually to go for a target and then finish it off. As for AMA, it's just generally how many threats FIT has. They have so many methods of CC, they have so much damage from 3 members, and even Set is no slack in terms of it. So they have to be absolutely careful not to get caught out of position once again with that shockwave.
30-minute mark already in play here. Man, things are just getting tense as the game progresses, because as the game progresses, these teams are getting more and more careful. They don't want to make the small mistake, so they're very wary. But now, looks like the Mountain Drake.
This could be it. This is quite a tanky Drake. They will take a few seconds on that one. This might leave FIT a little bit of room.
Looks like the collapse will happen. FIT engaged in. Look, comes the Radiance, and that's going to be Relapse. Gonna kill onto me, and Relapse with the Radiance. Invulnerability. This will be the Baron call. Double kill.
Oh, man.
And a double kill in the end. So 2-for-2 trade here, making a 4-0.
Shira has to back away, and this is definitely going to be the Baron for AMA.
Oh, they did not expect. Hyper carries, Atlas, can change
definitely
everything.
And that was because the Cosmic Radiance was able to get its full timer out, and once FIT loses steam in that initial burst coming from mid onto a carry, it's just so hard to finish it off, and the Radiance just keeps them from dying. And look at here, they are in a pretty good position here with their frontliners at the really up front, but once this ticks off, they can just barrel down, and they even flashed out of the shockwave. So this just leaves so much room for their carries to jump around, get the kills, and look at all that damage from 2 members.
I gotta say, I mean, that Mountain Drake was ironically the Baron Pit, in a sense. Because you would see those mishaps happen in the Baron Pit, but we saw in the Drake Pit. So with that said, looks like AMA retaliate, gets 2 mountains, and the Baron buff. This is bad news for FIT.
the way that the fights have been going, every time that FIT loses, it's because the ultimate from Ken Frost just is able to be done. They always get the right timing for it, just enough for Relapse to stay away from the brink of death and then just heal himself back up completely. And now that he has a Guardian Angel, it's going to be even harder to take him down.
Wait till he gets his Bloodthirster.
Oh man, yeah. And Niebe alone, just from the kit of the Fizz, is so difficult to take down, especially he has the Ninja Tabi, which blocks off a lot of damage from Mint, Ashira, and Neil. So far, FIT needs to make a move where they can...
The spaghetti.
Yeah. Somebody touched his spaghetti. But
That's
really,
just
look at all that
satisfying.
damage. Yeah.
Oof. I felt it here in the studio. So with that said, I mean, I'm waiting for the fact that Knight's Vow is on to this vein. So Zoe, I don't think he'll die too because that vein was uncontrollable.
Also dealing a lot of damage, so it's just a spiral of difficulty for FIT to take down Relapse here. On the other hand, FIT doesn't have that same luxury that Relapse has because Neil does not have a tank that can put a shield down.
It's so intimidating because Relapse has this huge shockwave. Let's connect out the Relapse, but Cosmic Radiance again, the timing is on point. FIT cannot fight back. It expired, but Relapse backing away.
He's healing so much.
He's healing so much. He does have the Knight's Vow, so things are going in favor for FIT so far. Oh, looks like they will be surviving the initial burst and will be forced to back off. Looks like a bit too over-aggression coming in from AMA.
Yeah, that's how FIT can win fights. Is, as I've said, I've described that every fight they've lost is because the Cosmic Radiance gives AMA enough time. But after that's done...
Oh boy.
After those few seconds are done...
What's gonna happen here?
But I'll play it.
Goal! That's gonna be Niebe taking on F. Neil. Look at the play about a 4. Remember that 4-for-1 trade here in favor of FIT.
But like I said, things can still go heavily wrong for one team that makes the wrong moves. And there, FIT was able to just power through, just survive through the damage that comes when the Radiance is up. And when AMA becomes so reckless that they just dive in with the Taric ultimate, that's when FIT can reconfigure. They can decide, okay, let's go here. So when the Radiance ends, they're all bunched up together, and we can just take them out with our sheer damage. And Ashira is 9-1 and 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a very big threat if the rest of his team survives the blasts and volleys that come from AMA when they have the Taric ultimate.
This is good because AMA, this is a classic pressure scenario, but let's look at the replay for a breakdown.
Because here, this is one of the bad spots for FIT, but you can see here that Relapse was delayed by around 1 or 2 seconds because of the shockwave and having to go forward. And because they had the Radiance up, they were just reckless and went in. And once it wore off, they were out of position, so FIT could just constantly take them down with ease.
So I think AMA overstayed, and FIT were smart to kite outside. Kite outside from the fight. Let the Radiance expire. As soon as it goes out, that's the win condition because AMA, they don't have that much AoE damage compared to, let's say, the Orianna. But yes, as you said, the shockwave did delay the Vayne.
And actually, yeah, because AMA doesn't have the same amount of AoE as FIT, it's going to be hard to take down Neil, Set, Mint, and Ashira all at the same time. That's 4 members. Meanwhile, FIT, once that Radiance falls off, look at all that AoE damage. They have the Hydra, they have the Shockwave, and the rest of the kit come from Set, and they have the Runan's Hurricane onto Neil.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Sterx Gauge, Black Cleaver, and the Guardian Angel.
It's scary.
Even the Gargoyle Stone Plate.
There's a lot of survivability, and really that is the key to surviving the initial charge of AMA, and they've done it in that fight. Let's see if they can repeat it again.
Looks like for Relapse, he will be getting the Scimitar for the lifesteal instead of the Bloodthirster, perhaps. Well, let's see. That's still gonna help him a lot. I mean,
that helps a lot because.
And he sold his Targon's Brace, so now he won't have the luxury of that shield anymore.
Yeah, but this might actually give him more tools against FIT because so far he has a lot of survivability enough from the Radiance, from the Knight's Vow, and even the Locket of the Iron Solaris. So I don't think he needs that extra shield anymore.
He also has the Taric too, so it looks like when you go to the late game.
So now that the Mercurial Scimitar is completed for him, sorry, they're both SCs. that the Scimitar has been completed for him. He can cleanse out of the Forever Bind, the Dark Binding that D can bring out, as well as the traps if he steps on one come from Neil or any of the CCs that the rest of FIT can bring out. So that could be a helpful tool for him.
Baron will be live in 54 seconds.
That is going to be another powder keg. That's just the pressure building up for this game.
This is bad news because if anyone gets aced here, Elder and Baron will be in the hands of one single team.
Could possibly even finish it with just the Baron if the waves are positioned well enough. So they have to be absolutely cautious in how they play this.
So let's weigh things out here. I mean, we are nearing the 38-minute mark. Maybe this game can go until 40 minutes at this time. Gold lead means nothing.
They have to be careful as well, because even though they are running a 3-1-1 configuration, AMA still needs to be careful if they get bursted down by FIT before the teleport from either of their teleporters actually come through. They have to be absolutely cautious.
At this point, the lead that they had in the first phase of the game is gone from the fact that I think at this point, when the Radiance expires, Neil will step up. You gotta watch
all
out
of his
for him.
damage. And he's 0-4-1, no kills whatsoever, but he's actually dealing a lot of damage together with Ashira.
Yay! Now we're talking to Baron.
They did need to defend around that bot side. They can't teleport around here, but they're doing it fast enough, denying the blast cone even. Just for extra safety. Now Baron's on the hands of AMA. FIT did not want to risk anything of a dance near that Baron, thus they just give it away like that.
And also the waves weren't pushing in favor of AMA. They were just setting up for the Baron and how they were managing the waves.
That just gives Elder Drake possibly. What is FIT doing?
They have two Mountain Drakes. They can really rush this.
They can really rush this, but FIT has not put themselves in a position where they can respond to this. They didn't have any vision. They weren't setting up the waves, and I would understand this if they had an inhibitor down in bot lane, but it seems like they were acting as if the inhibitor was down and super minions were pushing in that bot lane. It really is baffling to see how they did that, but it seems like AMA right now is in Super Saiyan mode. They have all the Drakes combined, well, two of their Mountain Drakes combined with Elder as well as a Baron. So this is just going to fall down quickly. This turret that in this bot lane, rather this inhibitor that they have in this bot lane will fall very, very quickly in the hands of even Relapse.
And bot lane's wave will crashing in the top lane. So that's going to be more pressure here. Fokada doing a lot of damage on the mid. Pressure will connect. Oh, the burst! And the Radiance is up. This could be it. This will be Imi diving inside the Nexus turrets and Relapse going in onto. Look at that. Without a care in the world. And that's going to be from the Baron to the Elder. That's going to be a lot of objective power in the hands of AMA. And that's going to secure them. Game 1.
Definitely. And wow, AMA just taking away this game 1. FIT lost a big opportunity not contesting those epic monsters.
So I think it's safe to say that from the Baron that was in the hands of AMA and the Elder, that was more than a convincing victory for AMA.
But up until that point where they did not contest Baron or Elder Drake whatsoever, they were playing it pretty evenly, because it came to the point where it's difficult for AMA to actually win a fight if it becomes too extended, because a Kled is so powerful and the rest of the team from FIT can actually dish out a lot of damage. But in the end, they didn't have FIT didn't have enough tankiness on the front line to actually delay any of the damage that AMA has. They took over the game after they got the epic monster buffs, and I think the vision played a big part in them not being able to contest those epic monsters, because I did not see any wards deeper than their own jungle at that point, and just gave free epic monsters to AMA.
And I'm excited to see how the total damage dealt. I'm pretty curious how much Relapse dealt here.
Relapse has dealt a lot, and looking at it, it seems that Neil has not actually dealt a lot of damage compared to the other AD carry. Really, it's because he's been having a hard time putting out his damage, because the fights either end so quickly because the Radiance allows him to rush forward, or the rest of the damage just comes from Ashira and Seth.
So I think with AMA securing the first game of match 3, we'll be having a short break, continuing on to game 2. We've been Shoutcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Atlas. See you after the short break.
A lot of damage.
Okay, looks like the spike is now in play. That's going to be, look at the shield coming in. Oh, the radiance. Will it be enough? Will it help?
Oh.
Yes, it reached in time. But will he last? The redemption is there for the reason, but still, he will be surviving. Relapse, sustaining
Still
himself.
alive.
Still alive here. Oh my god. He survived every blow that FIT threw against him.
Oh man, that is so bad for FIT. All of them live just long enough for the rest of their team to follow up. And look at that.
Relapse could cost them the Baron.
Possibly.
Oh,
Jumps over.
Jumps over. Oh my god, Blast Cone 4. Okay, that's it. That's going to be the Baron call
That's
for
gonna be a
FIT here. Looks like the collapse will happen. FIT engaged in. Look, comes the Radiance, and that's going to be Relapse. Gonna kill onto me, and Relapse with the Radiance. Invulnerability. This will be the Baron call. Double kill.
Oh, man.
And a double kill indeed. So 2 for 2 trade here. Making a 4-0. Relapse has this huge shield. Shockwave does connect out the reloads, but Cosmic Radiance again. The timing is on point. FIT cannot fight back. It expired, but Relapse backing away.
He's healing so much.
He's healing so much. He does have the Knight's Vow, so things are going in favor for FIT so far.
However,
oh, looks like they will be surviving the initial burst. And, oh, the burst. And the Radiance is up. This could be it. This will be Imi. Diving inside the Nexus turret. And Relapse going in onto. Look at that. Without a care in the world. And that's going to be from the Baron to the Elder. That's going to be a lot of objective power in the hands of AMA. And that's going to secure them game 1.
Definitely. And wow, AMA just taking away this game 1. FIT lost a big opportunity not taking those, not contesting those epic monsters.
So I think it's safe to say that.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.